Hello everyone. So I'm remaking this live stream because obviously I made a mistake in my previous live stream. So I'm gonna restart with this live stream, and this time I'm gonna read word for word of the article that I was mentioning in the previous live stream. Let me just hear my voice first. And I'm sorry about my terrible voice, my manly voice. I never really warmed that much of my voice up today that I was mentioning in the previous live stream. Let me just hear my voice first. Okay, I'm sorry if it does not sound so clear. I'll try and speak very clear as possible, but I don't know if that's gonna work so well. Sometimes when I speak very clear, sometimes my voice will not be recorded because of my microphone. It's a very strange microphone. Okay, I want to start from the top. I want to start from the top. So basically, if you don't know what's happening in South Africa, there is this new law that's into place. A law that's basically going to censor your videos. You could be fined or arrested up to 8 months if you do not go by the guidelines. And let me read it to you so you can understand together. Okay, so please understand. This is what it is. President Ramaphosa put internet censorship law into operation. Presidents and the communications minister have proclaimed that a law granting sweeping censorship powers to Film and Publications Board to the Films and Publications Board came into effect today, March 1st. Basically, today is March 3rd. The President and Communications Minister signed the proclamation on 11th February, and it was published in the Government Gazette on 25th February. However, the media and civil society only learned that this had happened on the day the law came into effect because the Films and Publications Board, the FPB, basically the FPB, you will find them behind your DVDs, you'll find them behind all your movies. They basically are a rating company for this country. I don't know if they are a rating company for the rest of the world, but I do know they are a rating company for my country. They rate, by the way. Sorry if you can't hear me clearly. They rate a lot of movies. They always have like a little rating behind every movie. So obviously, I'm just saying they are a rating company for movies and distribution of DVDs. Okay. The FPB, remember that, the Films and Publication Board, invited the press to attend a media briefing about it on 3rd March, which is today. This is because the government printing works has not published the gazettes to its website since mid-January, effectively cutting citizens off from essential information about what their government is doing. The president signed the controversial legislation into law in October 2019, but no commencement date was set until today. Previously dubbed the Internet Censorship Bill, the new law raises concerns among legal professionals over how it could be abused to restrict free speech. And that's something I want to point out as well. It will be used to restrict free speech, especially for those who make political content. I don't make political content, you know, but even if you don't make political content, you're still going to be affected as well. One of my biggest objections is that if I upload something which is someone finds objectionable, and they think it's hate speech, they'll be able to complain to the FPB, stated Ellipsis Regulatory Solutions founder Dominic Cull. The actor defines prohibited content as material that amounts to propaganda for war, incitement of imminent violence, advocacy of hatred that's based on an identifiable group characteristic, and that constitutes incitement to cause harm, or CP. Now, here's the thing. What defines hate speech? What defines hate speech? Tell me. Tell me what defines hate speech. Because the term has been used so much these days. Oh, you speak freely. Oh, that's hate speech. Oh, you think men can't be women. Oh, that's hate speech. You need to understand how the terms have changed over the years from people's perspectives, from the government's perspectives, not from the regular law of the world, but we're talking about, well, okay, not common sense, but we're talking about the law of governments. Basically, if the government says men can be women, then of course, if you say the opposite, men can't be women, then obviously that's hate speech. Their definition has been changing over the years, not the common sense definition. Okay. If the FPB thinks the complaint is valid, then they can lodge a takedown notice to have this material removed. This is an issue because, among other things, the FPB is not composed of elected officials, but of government appointees who should not be making decisions about what is allowed speech under the South African Constitution. Read that very carefully. Let me say this again. Let me read this again. This is an issue because, among other things, the FPB, the Films Publication Board, is not composed of elected officials, but government appointees. Look at this word very carefully. Government appointees. What does that mean? You know what that means. If you would politics, who should not be making decisions. Exactly. So basically, the people working for these, for the Films and Publications Board, the people working for them, they are just government appointees, basically pawns from the government, you know. Cole said that we need to see that the South African courts struggle with these issues. There is no place for officials directly appointed by a minister to deal with them. So this guy over here is talking about that. In addition to concerns over censorship, South Africa's NASET, YouTube, and Twitch companies have not received clarifications on what the law means for them. So far, we don't really know that much about what's going to happen to YouTube or Twitch. I don't use Twitch, but still, what's going to happen, because Twitch is not a posting site, it's a live streaming site. YouTube, you can live stream like what I'm doing right now, or you can post videos, so what can you do, okay. Despite the FPB publishing draft regulations in 2020 and draft classification guidelines in February 2022, none of the online content creators' community concerns have been directly addressed. Specialist digital entertainment lawyer Nicholas Hall explained that even though the amended FPB Act and draft regulations have definitions for a non-commercial online distributor, this definition is never used. Hall, who is also a CEO of Interactive Entertainment South Africa, said this means that even if you make no money from something you post online, the law technically requires you to register with the FPB and get your content classified before you post it. So basically, before I post my videos, even if I'm not earning anything from my videos, I have to basically go through this process of showing it to the Films and Publications Board first. And only then, when they allow it, then I can post it in. That's how ridiculous it is. As I said, I'm not making political content. Still, regardless, what if they do not like my content? What if they think my content is violent? What if they think my content is too adult? What if they think my content is too pointless? They can think some strange things about my content, and whatever they say goes. All who is a CEO. Okay, I read that. Okay, essentially, the Amend Films and Publications Act to make it criminal offense to distribute a film online without first getting the FPB to give it an age restriction. Basically, your videos, you have to get it an age restriction. But here's the crazy thing: YouTube already has age restrictions. YouTube already has age restrictions as well. Many of my videos throughout the years were getting age restricted by YouTube, okay? I remember the first time I got an age restriction on a video, a age restriction email from YouTube. They sent me it back in 2019, and they said one of your videos have been, age restricted. That's what they said. YouTube age restricts videos. You won't be able to watch a video if you're under 18, okay? So if you're watching an age restricted video, you won't be able to do it unless you're over 18. That's how it works. Okay, that's how it works. And what does this mean for gaming content? Because games are always violent. You never know what they're going to say about that. Essentially, the Amend Films and Publications Act makes it a criminal offense to distribute a film online without getting. So basically, if you show a video or whatever online and you do not know about this, let's just say you're a clueless content creator, you don't pay attention to politics, you don't pay attention to the news, you post a video, you could get sued, fined, or arrested. If you are convicted, you can face a fine up to 150,000 rand and imprisonment for up to 8 months. So if you post a regular video, about anything, even if it's about cats, and you do not go through the film's publication board to restrict it, to age restrict it, then you could get fined up to 150,000 rands, which is a lot of money. Even in dollars, it's a lot of money. And even so, you could also get arrested up to 8 months. Imprisonment. I don't think we're talking about jail. I think we're talking about prison. Prison where you could literally drop the soap and get what. Yeah, that's how dangerous it is. Okay, for sharing one video, you could get arrested, imprisoned for not going through the guidelines for one silly video. Hall explained that the offense created in Section 24A of the Act applies to everyone, whether you make money from the videos you post online or not. Given the broad definition of film, it will apply to anyone who uploads a TikTok, YouTube film, or any other video, Hall said. Now, the FPB is not currently enforcing this, but they are empowered by the law to do so, which is very disturbing. Guess what? That is disturbing. I am a South African. It's going to affect me tremendously. I want to make videos talking about my books. I have to go through this big publication just to show my content. It's ridiculous. What about my previous videos? Obviously, they have to go through that, right? Carl contended that while the act was extremely poorly written, it's also unlikely that the FPB will try to assign age restrictions to every video on YouTube. It is not practical to try and regulate all of social media, Carl said. Just because you said it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Just because you said it does not mean it's not going to happen. Okay? The government can do some crazy things, no matter how much you disbelieve in it or not. They can still do it. If I take the literal definition of the words in the law, then everything we as South Africans write, stream, or post online is affected, Carl said. The FPB can't be rationally taken to be saying all internet content must be classified. Then they talk about prawn. In addition to general definition of prohibited content, the Act also contains a specific section for revenge porn, referred to as the distribution of private sexual photographs and films. Another section prohibits the filming and distributing films and photographs depicting sexual violence and violence against children. So basically, CP, where this type of content is found, internet service providers will be compelled to give the FPB or a member of the South African Police Services information about the identity of the person who published the prohibited material. If an internet service provider knows that its services are being used for hosting distribution of CP, propaganda for war, incitement of imminent violence, or advocating hatred based on the identifiable group characteristics, and that constitutes incitement to cause harm, it will be criminally liable. ISPs could be given a fine up to 150,000. So basically, your internet service providers given a fine as well. up to 150,000 or 750,000, and prison time from 6 months to 5 years. So basically, even your internet hosting services will get arrested as well. Now here's the thing: CP is not found on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. You know, it's found in deeper, darker places. Dark webs and stuff like that. You're not gonna find it on the mains on the big four: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. You're not gonna find it there because you're not gonna find it. Well, I'm saying this because there's already things to take it out. And even though, what is the definition of? What is the definition? Because on TikTok, there's a lot of kids who do a lot of crazy dances and stuff like that. Wouldn't that be by definition CP? Wouldn't that be definition CP or not? That's the thing I want to know, because a lot of people post crazy videos, edgy videos. You don't know if that could be by definition CP, because on TikTok there's a lot of children, and obviously it's going to be very difficult for them to define what CP is unless they have a clear definition. Now, I do think they have a clear definition. I do think so. They have a clear definition on what CP is, but I don't think they have a clear definition on what hate speech is. That's something I do not think they have. I don't think they have a definition of hate speech. They do not have a definition of hate speech, They don't have a definition of hate, a proper definition, and the government is running it. So if you are anti-government, they can take your videos down, they can fine you, they can arrest you. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be reading all the stuff, but basically, it's how big it is. Look at it. Look at this thing. It's so crazy. When are they going to censor our text? I'm sure one day it'll happen to text as well. It'll happen to texting, Oh, you want to text someone, but oh no, you have to show it to a government first. Then we know your text is safe. One day we're gonna go to that length. It is gonna be very ridiculous, They're going after the major companies, but what about the other alt tech, And here's the thing. As I said, hate speech, there's such a crazy definition now. It used to be hateful content. Now it's telling the truth. If you tell the truth, it's considered hate speech. Oh, a man can't be a woman, you say. Oh, well, that's hate speech. They can define whatever it is. I'm just saying, they can define whatever it is, and you could be arrested, okay? I'm just saying, it's really crazy and really dangerous. Now, plus, if you're posting anti-government stuff, they can come after you as well. It's so ridiculous. Trust me, there'll be plenty of people supporting this bill because obviously they don't give a fuck. I'm sure there's so much of normies who will support this. I do not support this because they don't know the proper definition of hate speech. And I don't want to go through a big checklist just to post my video. I do not want to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay? I don't want to do that. Okay? YouTube already has laws in place to protect content from children. Okay? To protect adult content from children. YouTube already has laws in place. YouTube has rules in place. Okay? YouTube already has rules in place. I'm just saying, YouTube has those rules in place. Okay? Okay? I just want people to understand that, okay? Before you post a video on YouTube, there's a big there's a big list of things you do for posting your video, and within that list, you get to choose an option if your content is for kids or not for kids. Simple as that. This was into place since a few years now. What really disturbs me is how crazy it's gotten, Like now the government wants to look into what you're posting. What about gameplay? What if you're playing a freaking video game? And video games are violent? What are they gonna say about that? What, you can't post it because it's too adult, you know? It's so ridiculous at this point, honestly. It's so ridiculous at this point. Um, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. You won't be able to talk about that many things anymore about politics, nor will you'll be able to post anything at all unless you go through the Films and Publications Board. You have to show them your video, show it if it's show it to them, and they'll give a rating, and then you can post it. That's how it's gonna be now. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, okay? It is what it is. It's ridiculous. Because at the end of the day, people can use it for bad things, you know? People are going to use it for bad things. Okay, South African game developers won't publish in their own country. Here is why. Let me read this. Let's see what this is about. You know, I'm working on a couple of games, so I want to read this article. This might be an old article. 6th November, not really an old article. South African game developers are being discouraged from publishing in their own country due to the frustration and cost involved with applying film and public aid restrictions to their work. Dang it! So if I make a game, I have to go through this crap. Holy crap! This, according to Peter Kornoff, I'm gonna call him, and Nick Hall from Interactive Entertainment South Africa, IESA, who appeared before the commission as part of its online in intermediation platforms markets inquiry earlier this week. Peter is the chief operating officer at 24-bit Games, and Hall is a business development manager at Renderheads. All told competition commission that the processes of being FPB approved is incredibly frustrating for many developers. The legal ramifications of publishing a video game in South Africa without FPB approval are so severe that many developers avoid the process entirely. The results in many studios developing games locally that will be published to the global market due to these restrictions. They'll only be published and as such, these games are never available to play in South Africa. Some well-known releases by large multinational publishers obtain FPB ratings. These are displayed on platforms as the popular PC video game marketplace Steam. However, the smaller independent outfits that many South African video game studios publish through do not feature FPB ratings. State of South Africa's gaming industry. Okay, Peter and all discussed the South African video game industry current status, particularly the issues the industry faces relating to digital marketing platforms. All began the presentation by giving a brief overview of South African video game industry. He stated that the local industry is roughly 25 years old, which is relatively immature compared to the global industry. South Africa has approximately 60 active video game studios, although most of these studios are hobbyists or micro enterprises consisting of 1 or 2 members. There are roughly 250 full-time employees in local video game industry, and the local industry is mainly focused on developing consoles and PC. The local video game industry also sees little to no income from local markets. Okay, but rather 99% of revenue due to exports. The estimated annual revenue of the local industry is 300 million rands, with the majority concentrated among 6 studios. Competition within the industry. Okay. Online distribution platforms. One of the significant points of discussion was how online distribution platforms are suited for the distribution of South African games. Okay. I'm reading way too fast, I'm sorry. Some of the discussed platforms include Steam, Epic Games, Google Play, Apple Store, local challenges. Okay, let's read this. According to Hall, some of the most significant barriers and challenges faced by South African game developers are funding, Films and Publications Board compliance. I have to read this because as someone who wants to make a bunch of video games, I am worried about what these people might say. The process of having a video game approved by the FPB, many developers have found to be a difficult one. There's also strict penalties for publishing locally without this FPB approval. What the fuck? So, okay, I plan to make a couple of video games in my country, well, obviously it's going to be open to worldwide, but they could basically have penalties for doing so. The South African visa system excludes bringing in professionals. Okay. Update. FPB responds. Okay, they responded. The FPB works closely with the industry in order to understand their needs. Okay. The organization shared the tariff model came. Okay. Okay. Basically, the amended Films and Publications Act, which was also signed into law in 2019, which we talked about in the previous article. Uh, I don't get it. I don't get it. As someone who wants to make this type of stuff, it does worry me on what could happen. It does worry me on what could actually happen. You know, because imagine that. How do I avoid posting in my own country then? How do I do that? That's terrifying. That's so terrifying. Okay. DTV drops RT news channel. Why? RT is basically Russia Today. I was surprised we had them. Now DSTV is our current, basically, well, not our current, well, basically one of the biggest TV providers in South Africa. If you don't know, it has a bunch of channels and stuff like that. Russia state-controlled news channel. Okay. Uh. Okay. What the? I didn't click this. What the? Okay. So, yes, that's gonna own them, guys. It's kind of crazy. They don't want the Russia side of viewpoints. They don't want to see the Russia viewpoint. They don't want to see the Russia viewpoint. They only want to see the Ukraine viewpoint, basically. Shut the hell up and consume Ukraine. That's basically it. You don't want to know why Russia is doing this. You don't want to know what they're doing. Okay. European Union. And okay. It's going to come back one day, for a fact, after this is all over. There's so much of propaganda for Ukraine, so much of lies about Ukraine for them, and no one's going to talk about that. Uh, I think. Anyways, that's crazy. Anything else? Since I'm reading articles, anything else? Don't worry, I'll go back into the regular stuff. Okay. Fake news sites. Okay. 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 I want to check breaking news, not the forums. I want to see the breaking news. I don't want to see the forums. This is gonna take forever. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Bounding into comics. Let's see anything new with the news. Okay, I'm back. I just went to drink water. Okay. New Lord Rings of Power leaks detail Gladiator rage and plot information about Halbrand. Okay. I'm very worried about this new bill that's happening. I hope that this doesn't affect so much. I hope it's completely challenged. I hope someone in the court challenges this because this is going to affect not just political channels but random people who just makes fun videos. Okay, alleged exclusive. Uh, okay. When is she gonna do hand-to-hand combat and fight Sauron, the lesbian dragon? When is she gonna do that? When is Gladriel and Sauron gonna come out as a lesbian? When? When? That's gonna happen. They're completely making up random stuff, by the way. Yeah, for this new series, they are making stuff up the wazoo. Okay, they're not just keeping it canon. They're making random stuff up, completely making random stuff up, stuff that won't even fit in the series. They just bring it in. They have no rights to most of the stuff, anyways. Well, some of the stuff. Okay. Okay, 16 comments. Let's read the comments. So, anyways, tell me your thoughts on the bill because that really worries me. That bill really worries me. Why is it admirable for women to be angry and brash? Few men actually find that attractive, and those are usually more masculine traits anyway. Exactly, she's gonna become this mad, mad lady. They already destroyed um, the legacy of Tolkien. And a lot of these so-called Tolkien fans, these hardcore Tolkien fans, not all of them, just some of them, the one shill for the One Ring.net. Many of them are just lying through their teeth. They just want to push this diversity crap. Okay. Gizmodo Media Group Union goes on strike. Demands. Oh my goodness. Demands includes trans healthcare benefits and more diversity efforts. Now I don't even know what this is. I do not like unions, by the way. I have a distaste for unions. You may be thinking why. I'm sorry. I just don't trust unions. I don't want to be part of a union. I'm sorry. Like, no. Unionized writers, a couple. Okay, Kotaku and Livehacker. Okay, a bunch of companies. Uh, since 31st Jan, the Gizmodo Media Group Union outside counsel have met 5 times. Recession the company. Okay. So this is why when I make my companies, I'm not going to even care about joining a free union. I'm not joining a union. Okay. I run it my way. No one tells me what to do. Okay. They have no control over me. Okay. Further, they said, okay, basically this. I don't even care about this stuff, anyways. I feel bad for some of those who don't like unions, though. Okay, this is crazy, honestly. This is solely crazy. Okay, we want more triumphal representation. You can't force every game to have this type of representation. You're a media company. You cannot do that. Okay, whatever people make, they make. Okay, they went from not doing their job well to not doing their job at all. Oh my goodness. The union wants enough time for a birthing parent to heal. I think they mean woman. Look at this. They literally changed the word woman. They literally censor the word woman because it's offensive. It's offensive. A pregnant mother. They can't even say that anymore because it's offensive. And tell me who are the misogynists again? Tell me. Tell me. When they mean trans rights, they mean trans privileges. Exactly. That's what they mean. When people say trans rights, they scream it out. Okay, but what does that mean? You're not giving the proper definition. Okay, it means a bunch of privileges and that's it. Simple as that, you know? I'm saying it's unfair to cry for privilege and then cry for equality. You can't be equal and have privileges, okay? So we have that. YouTuber living anachronism claims it's much more valuable for Amazon to corrupt Lord of the Rings than it will be profitable. I don't know what that means. We'll check it out just now. Oh my. Oh no. Oh no. 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 Deadpool 2 actress Zazie Beetz developing Rapunzel sequel story. She'll have a huge afro. Guys, they literally taking over European work. What the frick is this? Rapunzel does not have a afro. Rapunzel has long, luxurious hair. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. Obsessed with changing the fucking races. You change one of their characters into a white character, they blow a fucking fuse. Just so you know, okay? To actor David, I don't even know your name. I'm sorry. I'm not. I might mispronounce it. He and his girlfriend Zazie Beetz developing a sequel to the story Rapunzel, which will be the Deadpool 2 and Joker. Wait, what? Okay, in a classic fairy tale, character's golden locks, basically, into the eponymous. I can't even say the word role and trade in for the classic fairy tale character golden locks for a huge afro. This is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. This is literally blackwashing. This is brownwashing, and we know it. You know it, guys. You know it. You know it. Let's read this. Let's read the comments. So we want to do a Rapunzel story, but we really hate everything about the Rapunzel story. They hate it. They hate anything European. They hate anything that has to do with white. Okay, these people are so obsessed about race. Ugh, it's so sad, honestly. There's something I can talk about, but it's not going to be exciting. Zazie writes a lot. Okay, I have a couple of scripts. This is literally blaxploitation. Ah, yes, people want to see a black Rapunzel. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What? Okay. So let's read more of the comments. But we really hate everything about the Rapunzel story, so we can change all of that. And you can't argue about that because racism and enthusiasm proves how right we are. A Rapunzel sequel, so they don't have to explain how she manages to live in a tower with a giant afro. How she gets rescued in the first place. She don't need no prince. She can jump on out head first, and the afro will act like a balloons device on the Opportunity Mars rover. All the women who have made a living played washed characters. I bet they feel no shame either. And all the enchanted woodland creature will live inside a magical afro. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's only appropriation if white people are doing it. It's reparations. And Hodge twins, as the Hodge twins say it, when other people do it. So I guess she specializes in playing race swap characters. How are you supposed to climb a gigantic dandelion? Sorry, but she isn't black enough for me. This is colorist. Apparently diversity is where creativity goes to die. Best comment I've ever seen. Exactly. Can someone explain how backwashing all these European stories is not a statement from the leftist progressives in Hollywood about how they are no worthwhile African folk tales to adopt? There's so much of African stories to adopt, people. So much of stories. They don't want to talk about those stories, you know? I don't know black chicks I know. Oh, I'm afraid to say anything, because of that stupid publication thing, Uh, Yet again, a story about where a white person is trampled in the need for social justice and diversity. Just make a fucking story of your own. Stop stealing and desecrating. Okay. If they were doing it for a comedy, I wouldn't mind. But this is not a comedy. This is not a comedy whatsoever. This is literally stepping over. This is literally stepping over the original character. You know, if you did the same thing to one of my characters, you would be attacked nonstop. Okay. Why? Why? What sequel though? I haven't seen the first one. Okay. Okay. Anything else? A lot of articles. A lot of articles just spawned up recently. Yes, just yesterday I was reading the articles. Okay. Okay. From here on, so we have like, wow. Wait. Two, four, six, eight, 10. 10 articles. 10 articles. So basically, we are race swapping. We are race swapping Rapunzel. And there can be many people defending it, saying, "Oh, just leave it alone, guys. Just leave it alone." They'll bring up these silly excuses. "Hey, waifu, how are you doing?" "I'm doing fine. I am doing fine. How are you doing?" "How are you doing?" So, anyways, people are going to defend this race swap because they always defend every race swap now. Any race swap, they'll defend it. We can't have a simple Rapunzel story anymore. We can't have it. We gotta race swap everything now. It's so ridiculous. Okay. Stargirl actor. Who is she? I don't know who Stargirl is. I don't know who Stargirl is. Is she from DC or Marvel? I don't know. Let's see. Okay. She calls MTG a Nazi stain after trying to build a wall. It's funny because with a wall, you wouldn't be getting so much of illegals coming in America. Okay. Stargirl actor Ethel Embry took to Twitter to rail against Georgia Congresswoman MTJ after she chanted "build a wall." Basically, Brandon got heckled. He got heckled by Marjorie and Lauren. Okay, build a wall. Now, obviously, if this was the other way around, people would have cheered for it. "Nice, I'm doing good. Getting a bit sleepy, but wanted to hang out for a bit." "Oh, that's cool. That's cool." Our time zones are very different. For me, it's like, as you can see right in the bottom, it's very early. It's 9:15 in the morning. Wow, this. Okay, the dude goes on a freaking rant crying about basically. Okay. Now, I don't know who he is. I don't watch that type of stuff, so I don't know who he is. Uh, okay. Let's see what else. Let's see what people are saying. I need to read the comments because a lot of people have different opinions on what they feel about the entire situation. They may feel differently. They may say it how it is. You know, they may say it straightforward. Okay. I have some ice water with me. I'm not gonna drink too much though, or else a migraine will form. I hate migraines so much. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. For me, it's 11:15 p.m. Dying. that's basically yesterday. I'm living in the future practically. Um, okay, this is gonna take forever to load. I'm not gonna read it. Basically, it's just some politics stuff. Actor getting angry at a politician. Not something so new. You know? Actors and actresses always got angry with politicians. Now this is taking forever to load. How long to load? Okay. Uh, anyways, while that loads, I guess we can just wait. Okay. Paramount joined Disney, Warner Bros, and Sony in stopping theatrical releases in Russia, include Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and The Lost City. I just want to mention that I just want to mention that I'm sure they still will put movies in China. You know, China, the place that has a concentration camp, and China has been having a concentration camp for years. Okay, these companies never boycotted anything. Disney literally filmed Mulan next to a concentration camp. It's so ridiculous, you know. It's so ridiculous. A lot of people are going to boycott Russia, but what about China? What about China? They've been doing it for years before Russia did this type of stuff. So why all of a sudden get angry now and take action when you should have been taking action like years ago, you know? People were supposed to take action years ago. It just says that they don't really care about this, you know. Not many people are against China, by the way. If you look online on social media, many of them don't even care about China that much, you know. It's just because all of these so-called progressives are also uh, getting mad about Russia, then they joining in, you know. I'm just saying that's what it is. They don't really care about China or whatsoever because, you know, their audience, their beloved audience, the woke audience, China. So obviously you're gonna pander to your audience, you know. Ah, it's taking so long to load the comments. Okay. But yes, you won't see them censoring. You won't see them censoring uh in China. Russia doesn't care. Everyone just illegally downloads stuff from torrents. Okay. This isn't a bad thing. It's actually saving Russia from the perverse agenda driven cinematic sewer that is Hollywood. Exactly. Hollywood hating on a politician that doesn't agree with their agenda, so basically the sky is blue, lol. Exactly. Exactly. It's such a normal thing. Okay? But they won't do that to China over genocide. Such fake outrage. Exactly. They are just blocking the movies from Russia just because many of the so-called progressives are against China. I mean Russia. Blocking it in Russia because many of the progressives are against Russia right now. You know, many of the progressives are loving China. They don't talk about China that much. You know, so obviously they're gonna pander to their audience. Okay, fewer terrible propaganda movies for Russia. Dang, Russia is lucky right now, guys. No Hollywood movies. No nonsense. No woke agenda. They're fine. Okay, they're fine. They are so fine right now. No political propaganda shoved down their throats. Dang, it's not going to affect them too much. You know, it's not going to affect them at all. Basically, okay. The Verge's Ash Parish claims Elden Ring lacks black hairstyle options. Fail its black players. Now, when Monster Hunter Rise came out last year, people were saying the same thing. There were less black hairstyles. Yeah, there were less black hairstyles. And then a couple months just released a couple of free black hairstyles. You know, um, and reinforces a culture of exclusion. According to The Verge, Ash Parish, the lack of kinky air options in Elden Ring's character creators not only fails its black player base, but in her view reinforces a culture of exclusion already endemic in video games. Parish expressed issue with the game's avatar customization on February 25th, publishing an article to The Verge's headlined Elden Ring character creator fails black players, in which she decried how the system allows for an unprecedented level of control of every minute detail of facial feature, but only has one kinky hair option, an afro, and it's an ugly one at that. I never noticed that that certain games don't have a lot of uh, hairstyles from every single group and culture. Progressives are contradictory in how they love LGBT people, yet they love China, which is very exactly. Uh, same when it comes to countries that have Sharia law. You know, those predominantly Muslim countries, they are so pro those countries, yet they don't know how they will get treated if they went there, because those countries are not going to take so lightly to a gay person, Years ago, I saw a video of two men being beaten for basically having a sexual relationship. They were being beaten. It's crazy, and the progressives would close their eyes on that. Uh, okay, so basically, Elden Ring, a game that's kind of popular right now, it has only one black hairstyle, basically one. Okay, okay. Parrish ultimately explained that while not having a diverse number of hairstyles ultimately doesn't diminish my experience with Elden Ring, she just could not understand how a game after numerous calls for greater diversity and developers acknowledging its black community members through BLM posts and well wishes during Black History Month can still fail account to black players. Here's the thing, many of these companies use Black History Month to benefit themselves. They don't care about Black History Month. And when it came to BLM, for them, they didn't care. They did not care. They just posted it because everyone else was posting it. Let's see what the comments are saying. I love to know what other people are saying. I mean, just looking at those two pictures in the article of the different hairstyle options, I don't think there's a single one I've seen on a contemporary human, whether they are white, black, or anything else. That's why it's called role playing and fantasy. Okay. Okay. So basically, basically, just to complain about the hairstyles. SJWs, OMG, why isn't there someone that looks like me? I can't love this till someone looks like me. I'm more focused on staying alive and dealing with the tough, brutal bosses. Didn't enjoy Elden Ring, by the way. My brother and I were playing co-op. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. A lot of people love the game, and I'm glad they do. In a current age where so much of games are so terrible, I'm glad at least some good games are coming out. I'm glad at least some good games are coming out. Any other games coming out this year? I don't really know. Besides Sunbreak and a SpongeBob game, that's all I'm looking forward for. A new SpongeBob game is coming out, and I'm happy for that. So only a few good games are gonna come out this year. Only a few good games are gonna come out this year, and the rest are gonna be terrible. I know it's very early in the year, but still, I have a bad feeling about this year when it comes to video games. A lot of games will be bad, a lot of games will be crazy, a lot of games will be broken, a lot of games will be pandering to the SJW crowd, you know? Okay. Let me read this article, then we'll end the stream. But yeah, it's so crazy, isn't it? It's so crazy how games have really been declining in the past few years. Back in the day, almost every game used to be so awesome, you know? Elden Ring is a European fantasy, and European is mostly white, so if, of course a lot of characters are going to look like white. Doesn't bother me at all that there's not a single Hispanic character. When it comes to hairstyles in video games, I love trying out different hairstyles, you know? Hairstyles I would never use, you know? Short, long, crazy hairstyles and stuff like that, you know? So it doesn't matter whatever skin tone character I'm playing, I will always like to use different hairstyles, you know? So yeah, I won't really use hairstyles that always fit me. I'll sometimes use hairstyles that don't fit me, you know? Um, because an hairstyle is just an hairstyle. You can change it anytime. And obviously, I like to use different hairstyles. I like to try different things. Okay, this is taking so long. Okay, here we go. YouTuber claims that it's much more valuable for Amazon to corrupt Lord of the Rings than it will be profitable. Okay, so basically this guy over here, I watched his video. I watched it. It's a very long video. I'm pretty excited for Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy, even if it's basically Final Fantasy Dark Souls Edition. I forgot about that game. I forgot about that game. I forgot about it. That also seems a good game. That also seems like a good game. I won't really play it though, because I don't really have a modern day console. Um, I tried playing the demo on my Xbox One, but it said it won't work on my Xbox One, so I never was able to play the demo. Maybe when I get an Xbox Series X or S, I'll play it. Okay. So, okay. The YouTuber would then detail the reaction to the trailer. Okay. Basically, it's a very long video. It's a very long video from this YouTuber. And this YouTuber is a very well done YouTuber. Well, a very, what's the term? A very well produced YouTuber. The sound quality is good. The editing is good. It's amazing, you know. This YouTuber isn't just some random YouTuber. Is so is so different, you know. I love using different hairstyles for my characters. Okay, so basically, we all know for a fact that you know what they're doing in Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power, is gonna be so so different from the original books. It's just there to get a reaction. That's it. That's literally it. You know. And by the way, the so-called diverse people working on it, the token scholars, the diverse token scholars, the diverse token scholars, um, guess what? They basically don't like Token. They don't like Token and his work. So why are they part of Token's work? Why are they being so into his work if they hate him? You know, if they hate him, why do they like his work? You know, I understand you can separate art from the artist, uh, but obviously, it's like some of these people hate the man so much, and they always want to change his work. If they want to change his work so much, why read it in the first place? Why not create your own work? You know, why not create your own ideas? Why not create your own books and series? You know, that's something very important to talk about because they hate him. They hate how the story goes, and they want it to be more diverse. Why don't they make their own stories? You know, 'cause there's plenty of space for new book writers in this world. Okay, that's the problem, you know, because at the end of the day, these diverse token scholars, they don't care. They don't care about they don't care about Tolkien himself. They don't care about his legacy. They don't care about the impact of his books. They just want to push their ideas. That's it. You know, that's it. And there are plenty of these social justice warriors who basically call themselves token experts and token fans. I think my connection is no. It looks like the messages are take wait, hold on. Uh, I think my connection is slow. It looks like the messages are taking a while to send. Oh, I see it. I see it. Hopefully it ends up on Switch. Though I unfortunately doubt it. Yeah, Strangers of Paradise looks like a game that's too big for a Switch, you know? Hopefully one day Nintendo makes a very powerful handheld. I would love if Nintendo made a brand new handheld, you know, that's so powerful like an Xbox or a PS5. That would be amazing, you know, because then we can get all those same games from console onto Nintendo as well, you know, because that'll be perfect. That'll be so perfect. Uh, but obviously, Nintendo is on its own competition. They don't really compete with the other companies, so they basically play with themselves, basically, and they are the most successful console companies. I remember there's a saying. I think it's evil can't create; it can only corrupt what's already existing. Exactly, exactly. That's what they're doing. They're corrupting tokens' work to push their own ideologies. There's plenty of space for them to make their own ideas. They have the tools. There was this token scholar who said some bad things about token, and she's pushing for this diversity stuff, you know, pushing for the diversity crap. And she went to this high school. I meant, not high school, I meant this I established university. Sorry, I kept mixing up my words. This I established university, this very well known university. And here's the thing, they can go to all these universities, but they can't make their own stories up. They can't work on their own stories. They can't put their own ideas out. Why? Why is that, you know? They always want to leech up on other stories that they never created, and they want to control it. They think they're the big bosses of it now just because they're the so called token scholars, you know? It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. This one chick, as I was talking about, she went to this very prestiged university. They went to this very prestiged university, and she back in the day she would talk about Token, how amazing it was. Now she's backstabbing him and basically calling the fans racists, you know. And here's the craziest thing. She went to university. I'm sure she can manage to write well established books. Okay, I'm sure she can manage to make her own stories. But no, she won't do that. She will want to leech on Token and his work. Okay, absolutely, especially so you can compete with the Steam Deck. Exactly. The Steam Deck is so powerful, you know. It's not available in my country yet, but I would like to get it because it's so good. It's so good to have a portable PC, you know. But also, I would like for Nintendo to also grow up as well. They can make some much more powerful games. New ideas can be formed, you know. There's nothing wrong with the Switch itself. It's just that